Pointed at me again, but it's folded up, so it's kind of a weird thing. So that's pretty neat. You can there's a strap in here for it, so you could carry that around. And the biggest advantage I think in a folding gun, it's like a shotgun. Break it down, and you can get it in a pack like this. Put it on your shoulder, and it does not scare people as much. It doesn't scream gun. Yeah, that's one of the advantages. Let's be honest, and we're not in a subversive way, like you're up to something necessarily. You might
You know,
be.
Miss
I don't know
Debbie.
you, but people who see you aren't frightened. They're not triggered. Oh no, a firearm necessarily. So there's some advantages, and then packing it and not taking up as much room and all that. That to me, that's one of the biggest advantages of that. Okay, reducing the length on a firearm. Now it opens up. It just friction. You just pop it. See, it's catching on the charging handle here. That's what it does. And now that might wear because that's kind of polymer against polymer. I don't know, but you can pull forward on that, and then rather than even when you close it, you could do that if you were worried about that, I guess. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how it folds up. I will say, when I first saw these, I don't know, SHOT Show or NRA meeting,
I'm looking for some old friends. Theo Tay-6.
I thought we killed your whole.
I didn't handle it and mess with it, I don't guess much, but okay, is that a gimmick or what?
All right, ladies and gents. What we're looking at is something similar that could have been used. We have no idea. We're all chasing the weapon to see what it was. No. This is a 40 cal, right? But they're saying he had a 30-06 rifle. It don't break down. But weapons do break down. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, that's not what killed him. It wasn't a 30-06 bullet. Okay, well, if that wasn't, it might have been a diversion weapon. And they might have used something like this. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to say it's not. It is collapsible. You put it in a bag, zip it up, and it looks like you're carrying a laptop bag or something. So very, very capable of doing the job. We're not taking anything off of the table here. We pretty much know it's not the chupacabra that did it. So we're good there. And other than that, let's just watch a little bit more, and I think he demonstrates how it breaks down real quick. Hello, Miss Debbie Fox Valdez.
We'll look at that sometime. And you can't help but wonder. Okay, it's kind of odd looking, folds up, and maybe that's its claim to fame. It's a piece of junk, but it does fold up. Okay, that's a little extreme, I guess. From Smith and Wesson M&P, it should not be junk, right? But anyway, I was ready for anything. But a friend of mine bought one on her trip to Alabama, down to forgot the name of the shop. Anyway, Amber, the famous Amber, where she went. And that's what he bought when we were down there in Alabama a few weeks back. He was looking for one, and something armory. Sorry about that, folks. But and he likes it. I went up to his place. He has a lot of land, and we fired the thing. Fired it a lot. And I told him we were in the process of getting one to do a video with and everything. And I fired his a good amount, and I was pretty impressed with it. The thing is, it folds up and it opens up, does all that stuff, but it feels really solid. A lot of polymer. That's polymer. The rail, all that is polymer. This is aluminum back here, but it feels very sturdy. You don't get the feeling it's just cheaply made. Okay, and that's big. That's a big. Nobody wants a cheap feeling gun or a cheap gun that's just not put together well. Now, I don't know. We may hear they're all starting to fail, after 500 rounds, but I don't think that's the case yet. They've been out there a while. People have been shooting them, and it seems really solid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, keep in mind, when they first came out with the 40 cal Smith and Wesson rifle thing, it didn't break down, right? They made different versions of it. depending on how new of one you bought, the older ones, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, or whatever, uh, if not longer, they didn't break down. They look similar to that, but they didn't break down. So, and even the ones that don't break down are short enough to get inside of a duffel bag, probably, possibly a backpack, a big backpack. It's possible, you know, to have a 40 cal Smith and Wesson rifle like this, and it be short enough to get inside of a big backpack. It might be possible. Now, a 30 cal or a 30-06 hunting rifle, bolt action. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But we're looking for numerous weapons, possibly, right? Because a lot of people are saying, well, the 30-06 wasn't the one that got them. Maybe something else hit them. And then the other one was, there was diversion shooters, whatever, okay. All right. So it's possible something like what we're watching right now that breaks down very easily to put in a pouch or a its own bag is very well possible to be used. So there you go, folks. We're just, making content and keeping on the case. Let me see what Debbie said. His grandfather wants his rifle back if there's not going to if it's not going to be used in trial. Yeah. Well, poor grandpa. All right. No, I want you kids to have a great day. Be safe. All glory goes to God. Amen. Uh, hopefully we never have to use our weapons, right? What's the best weapon? The one you never have to use. Hopefully we come across and with people and deal with them, like human beings and everything. But it's always good to have maybe home defense, a weapon, one weapon, maybe two, just for home defense, right? That's basically what people are doing now. A couple weapons, all you need just for home defense. And really we shouldn't have to because we pay police to lock bad people up, and that's what we pay them for. But God bless. All glory goes to God, and we'll see you next video. Anything's possible. Keep that in mind when you're working on cases. Keep an open mind. Think outside the box. Anything is possible. I'm looking into, what was it, a CO2? Well, the new CO2 weapons are powerful enough to kill somebody if you're up close enough. Yes, that is true. A pellet gun. Yeah. People they just don't understand. Yeah, it's possible. But they would have to be up close. Closer than 200 yards probably. I don't know. I've seen some new pellet guns that are pretty powerful, right? So, yeah, it's possible. We'd have to see what kind of autopsy was done and what kind of bullet they pulled out of them. If that ever comes around, we don't know, right? All right, you folks have a great day. God bless. You kids be safe. Make sure you check out the Corn School in LaGrange, Indiana. Tonight, Carnival. I think it ends tomorrow. I'm not sure, or tomorrow, I think tomorrow is the last day. And they pack up Sunday or something like that. So get out there and enjoy your time and your day. No rain. Usually when we have that thing, it's raining. So God bless. Be safe. And make sure you check out your local garage sales. I noticed that on the way home from over at my mother's doing work, which I got yelled at because I accidentally cut down 2 of her plants that supposedly weren't supposed to be cut down, but I cut them down anyway. I was on a mission to get all of them done in one day. I went around the whole house, cut everything down. But God bless, and Debbie's right. You'll take your eye out, kid. And that we have that to look forward to. Christmas Story. Within a couple months, we'll be watching Christmas stuff, right? Peace, love, harmony. You folks have a great day. God bless. I want to thank all of our servicemen for serving and all of our police. God bless.